Hi guys, hope you're doing great. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I go by the name of Tony Tepamasheho, and today I will be giving my beginner's course for free, right? So in this beginner's course, where we'll be starting with episode 1 and episode yeah guys. So welcome to the beginner's SMC course, right? So here I'll be explaining how my strategy works, how I apply it, and hopefully you will also be able to apply it. And if you can, I'll just be very glad if you guys come back with your results and you talk to me. And I hope that this works out and you actually enjoy being a part of this course, okay? So this is the 2025 SMC strategy breakdown. Welcome and let's get it. So basically, what I'm going to be explaining here, right, is how price moves. So I believe that to know how price moves, I believe that for you to be profitable in trading, you have to know yourself. You have to master your emotions and you have to master your psychology, right? So let us begin with a graph. So this graph basically shows the type of emotions that traders go through when they are like the type of emotions that traders go through when they place a trade, right? So for example, let's say you place a trade right over here, right? So when you place a trade right over there, you're going to enter with caution, right? It's going to go up, give you a bit of hope. Then before you know it, it goes down and goes up. And this is where you start having relief, right? When you start having relief, it breaks, it gives you a bit of profit, and you start having hope that, okay, the trade is going your way and you have hope. You become optimistic. As it goes higher, you become confident, you become euphoric, and eventually greedy. So this is where a lot of smart traders get out of their entry, right? And when they get out of their entry, what they're basically looking for is they're looking for another entry at this point, and they're satisfied with whatever profit they've gotten throughout that day, right? But then if you're not really smart, you become greedy, right? And then you have a bit of a pullback. When you have that bit of a pullback, it goes up, you start having denial, thinking that we're going higher, right? And if you're not really disciplined, if you don't have your psychology in check and you're trying to get rich by the next day, this is usually where you place more orders, right? And then you have a pullback, it goes up again, and then this is where you're persisting, right? And now you are thinking to yourself that, okay, right, um, the market was just trying to scare me. We are actually going through that to that direction, right? And then the market goes down beyond what you thought it was going to go, and you start experiencing fear. Once you start experiencing fear, this is basically where you should have closed all your positions, but just because of the thought that this might actually go my way. What if I close right here, but then it actually goes my way? I cannot lose whatever money I have already. And then comes despondency, right? This is where you're just hoping that, okay, let it just go a bit higher. When it gets to a certain point, I'm going to close. So this is maybe most probably when I get 10% of my profits back, I'm gonna close. When I get at least 30% back, I'm gonna close. And then and then this is the point where you start panicking. And when you start panicking, what happens? We call this, and I'm from SA, so we call this the blowout away. This is when you blow your account, and once you blow your account, just know that you blew your account on with one entry and one move. So you have to know your emotions. You have to know how to master your emotions for you to be able to do what? For you to be able to get through the financial markets, right? So let us let us dive even further, okay? So this is just an example. So let me just explain here, right? So the market was here. This was the highest point the market had made during that day. And during this highest point, I was looking to buy either on this demand zone on, or let me just change the color to black, or on this demand zone, right? So this is where I was looking to buy, right? But then I was waiting for price to come take this liquidity out. And once price has taken this liquidity out, I was expecting price to do what? To go to the upside, okay? That is what I was expecting, okay? But then unfortunately that didn't happen. But then before that move, I had anticipated a sell going towards this demand zone or going towards this liquidity right over here, okay? So let's go to the 5-minute time frame. So basically what happened is price was in an uptrend, right? So when price was in an uptrend, I waited for my change of character. My change of character showed me that price is changing trends. It's going from an uptrend to a downtrend, right? But then the main time frame is an uptrend. So I knew that this downtrend was not going to last. This was just a pullback, okay? So with that being a pullback, what I did is I waited for my supply zone to form. And once my supply zone had formed right over here, I marked it out. And once I had marked it out, I marked out where I was expecting liquidity to sweep, which is these equal highs, right? So these equal highs, we had liquidity, a liquidity sweep. How can we spot that liquidity sweep? By this wicks right over here, right? And this was my entry. So I had my entry right here, right? So as my trade was moving down, I made sure that by the time it got here, I was out. This is where I exited my trade, right? Because I saw that price reacted off this demand zone. So this demand zone, I was expecting it to be an inducement, but then in this scenario, it was not an inducement, right? So price came back there, okay? Like, to someone who's trying to be rich overnight, this might not be a good exit for them. This might be a waste of time for them. But then I want you to see how I followed my system. So if I was someone else, I was going to have hope, okay? If I was someone else, I was going to have hope, right? And then the I was going to have hope, right? And then the market was going to keep going down my direction. Confidence, confidence, greed, right? So at this point for me, it was greed because at this point I had doubled my account already, but then I was expecting price to reverse somewhere right around this demand zone, right? So on my part, there was greed. But then to make sure that I stay safe and I do not let greed consume me, when price started reversing and started going up, I made sure that I had my stop loss right over here. And what happened is price hit my stop loss, but then I was in profits and I closed with $50 on that particular day, right? So this is to show you that you should always follow your steps regardless of what happens within the market. Always make sure that your emotions are in check and always make sure that you have an exit and an entry plan. So in the next video, I'm going to make sure that I explain to you how to have an entry and exit plan. And also in that video, I'm going to put in how to put together a trade plan. Thank you for having me today and thank you for listening. And I hope this makes sense.